Hello, this is the Latin Geek. I'm gonna do a quick Excel tutorial today on how to use Flash Fill. So let's open Excel. And over here we have a Flash Fill some data sample. And this on the right side is I'm gonna explain how to use formulas versus Flash Fill and when you want to use Flash Fills instead of formulas. Uh, Okay, so in a flash fill scenario over here we have some data, and this is very common that you have the first name and the last name done in one column. But in order to add flexibility to it, what we want to do is to partition this as a first name and then last name, so we can do some search based on that, like how many Durans we have and so on. So I'm going to delete that. And with Flash Fill, although statically is extremely powerful, so the first thing that we had to do, and a little hint, is that the Control E is the one that fills in or perform the Flash Fill. But let's do this sample first. So again, the project is to get the first and the last separated like this. And we're talking about now just 10 rows, but this could be hundreds, could be thousands. How can you do that really fast? Okay, so the first thing is that we have to extract something from the data. I'm gonna get Roberto because Roberto is part of the data. You see that it's part of this data right here. So I'm gonna hit enter. You can hold the control key as you hit enter so the cell remains on the same spot. And then to fill in, so what I'm telling Excel is that I like from this data to get the first component on the left side. So if I do Control E now, based on the selections that I have, it should go through the data and fill it in. So let's do that, Control E. And if you notice, it did it. So let's do the last name. So I'm gonna type Duran. You cannot just create, it has to be within the data set. Duran is part of that data set, it's the right side of the last name. Control Enter to remains on the cell, Control E, and notice that E grab that information. Now, how difficult is this? So that took just a couple seconds, but how difficult is this to do it with formulas? So it takes a little more work on the formula. I'm gonna explain it too, or I'm gonna then explain the difference. But let's see, how can we extract the left side of a data set like this using formula? So if I click over here, notice that I'm using a left, which means extract from a string so many characters from the left, and a find. A find is within the left. The find here finds a space. So if I look Roberto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the character A is a space. So the find will tell the outside formula, which is left, then it found a space on 8, and then left say, okay, so on the string that is located on A5, which is Roberto Duran, this find the space -1 return a number which is 8 minus 1 is 7. So in other words, left is going to return the first 7 characters. And if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it will return Roberto. This works because it's not a precise number. It's based on the string. So when it goes to Cesar Chavez, it's going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it's going to subtract that one. So that's how the left and the find works. Let me show you. So if I select the find with the mouse all the way to -1, and I press F9, it tells me the number of characters. I notice that is 7. So left using the string on A5, which is Roberto Duran, returns, starting from the left, the first 7 characters, which is Roberto. So, and the last name is a little more detailed using the similar scenario, but we use now mid formula, so we can actually start and in the middle of the string, and also use len, which return. So mid, find, and len, a combination of those to return the beginning part of the middle, how long is the string, and based on that string, subtract and return the leftover. And that's how this works. Okay, now what are the disadvantages and advantages of these two formulas? Formulas are stronger, more versatile, more flexible than flash fill. Flash fill is convenience and fast, but if you can create the formula, you have a little bit of time designing it and making sure that it works, but after you get it working, it works and extremely fast. But okay, so what is the difference? So the difference is that flash fill is static. So if I decided to then this name right here instead of Ramon, it was a mistake, and it was Ronaldo. As soon as I hit enter, this part will not change, but the formula right here immediately understand that and it changes. So hit enter. I noticed that Ronaldo was updated immediately. This one was, so in order to fix this problem, we will have to then delete this first, go back to this cell and do Control E, and it will again run it again. Same thing with the left if it's something with the change. So that's the disadvantage, but as you see, flash fill is very convenient, very fast, and that minor changes, it can be easily done on the flash. But nevertheless, formulas are extremely powerful, and that's what you should be concentrating on most of the time. Okay, coming back to flash fill. Flash fill, we can actually add and take away components to it. For instance, notice that I have this data set and I have this data set, so I can tell flash fill and combine these two together. For instance, I can say Roberto paid $45. So let's see how we do that. So we had to get information from the data set, space, I'm gonna select 45, and notice that I didn't select the rest. I say paid. Oh, it's my bad. Paid $45. The word paid is not in this data set right here or in this data set right here. So whatever excuse me, whatever is not on the data set, it will be repeated down the road. So Roberto will change to Cesar, Julio, Ramon, Margarita, and the pay will continue being copied down, and the 45 will be changed based on the number. So now that we have that, we do Control E, and notice that it works. So again, this would be a little more difficult to create a formula, a little more time, but believe me that it has its uses to create the formula. Okay, now as that join on the flash fill, we can do the same thing here with days and time, and it doesn't have to be left or right. I can actually use the cells first and then the date. For instance, I can say $, which is going to be repeated, 128 was paid on Seven 12. Okay, Control Enter to be on the same location, Control E, boom. Let me enlarge this a little bit so you get to see it. and notice that 128, 250, the dollar sign, because it's not on the data set, it gets copied down below. Or the numbers are coming from this data set. Was paid on is not on the data set, so it repeats down below, and then this last part is on the data set, grabbing it from the left. So again, flash fill is extremely powerful, something that you should be on your tool set, and a nice way to clean data as well. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this quick Excel flash fill tutorial, and I hope to see you soon. This is the Latin Geek, and have fun.